Okay. So, good morning, everyone. We're going to stay with working with the feet a little bit and bring those up to the legs. You're going to need a strap and a block. And go ahead and put your strap, not in a big knot like mine is, but just in a loop that's probably a little shorter than your shoulders, a little, and you'll know once we get to it, you'll know about how wide you'll need it. And then set that aside for now. And sit well, sit in a way that makes sense for your body, knowing that you could sit up on a blanket or a pillow or anything like that that you need. And then just kind of maybe press your hands into the floor, right? Not on your legs, but into the floor, and see if you can lift your hips off the floor and just move those hips back. Move the sit bones back so that the hips, the pelvis tilts forward just a little bit, and then take your shoulders up to your ears and make the side body really long. And then exhale, let it go. And close the eyes. Hmm. And start to feel your breath. Feel the in and out flow of your breath. And notice any tension in the jaw or the neck, right? Or even the upper shoulders, the upper back. And just try to soften that tension. Maybe you wiggle the shoulders a little bit. Maybe you draw the back of the head back a little bit. I was practicing an interesting video yesterday, and the teacher said that if our core is not engaged, the neck can take over from a stability or core standpoint. And so a lot of this tension in our neck could be related to that transfer of stability from here to here. I thought that was really interesting. I'm going to play with that a little bit. So just kind of notice, right? Where is your head in space? Is there already tension just sitting here? And then maybe tone the low belly just a little bit, right? And just see if that changes where your head sits, where your neck sits, and any tension. And then again, draw the breath in and exhale, let it go. Taking the breath in and exhaling it out. Good. This time, as you take your deep breath in, on the exhale, I want you to feel your lower ribs soften down a little bit without curling your back. So draw the low ribs in. Good. And again, inhale, deep breath. Exhale, soften the ribs down and in. Keep going, keep going. Last one, deep breath. And exhale. Good. And then open the eyes. Let your left ear go to your left shoulder. Nice and easy. Be mindful of your own personal neck, right? Don't do anything that feels bad or that you shouldn't be doing. Take the right hand to the side. Let the fingers rest on the floor. And again, one of the ways that I know to keep the jaw relaxed is to keep some space between the teeth. So maybe your mouth is just ever so slightly open so that the teeth themselves are not touching. Relax your jaw, relax your face. Just stretch out that side of your neck. And then tuck your chin towards center, but pause part way. You'll feel a little bit more of the back of the neck stretching, as if you could tuck your chin to the left side of your chest. And then let the head come all the way to the center. Pause right there. Lift through the chest so that the upper back doesn't round. Maybe notice if you started to tilt forward. And then bring the ear to the right shoulder. Let the right hand come back to your knee, your lap. Let the left fingertips go to the side. And notice which side is tighter. For me, this left side is always tighter. I have no idea why. So I just try to get a sense of what's happening with it. And then start to tuck your chin down toward the right side of your chest. And feel that. You know, it could be the way we sit, it could be the way we work on our computers, it could be dominant versus non dominant sides of our bodies. Who knows? There's space between the teeth. We're just stretching out those tight muscles and then let it slowly come to the center as if you could look down at the floor. Maybe some of you can. And then slowly let it drift right back to the left. Good. This time you're going to take the left hand and reach behind your back. If you can, grab your right arm anywhere on your arm. I have mine right at the elbow. And then draw the left shoulder down and away as the left ear follows. Keeping both sit bones on the floor. You're not leaning over to the left in any way. Follow the breath here. Yep, relax your mouth, your jaw. Start to tuck, bring chin toward chest, right? So left side chest. Notice if the left shoulder wants to roll forward. See if you can keep it back behind you. And then bring it to the middle. Bring it to the right side. Hold your stretch. Big deep breath. And take it right up to center. Woo, yeah, let that left arm go. Shake it out. Good. This time you're going to take right ear to right shoulder. Take the right arm behind you. Grab your left arm. Nice tone to the belly. Don't forget that. Stretching. Don't let the chest collapse. Wee-ha. Find your breath. Notice the right shoulder as it rolling forward. And then just start to tuck a little bit. Bring that chin toward the right side chest. Bring it to center. Bring it over to the left side. And bring it up to neutral and let it go. Whew, good. Roll out your shoulders. Good stretches there, I hope. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, right to your heart. Good. Two more here. Inhale, take it up. Exhale down. And last one, reach up. Exhale, let it come down. Roll it out. Let those hands come behind you. Bring your knees up and see if you can sail those babies forward. Straight legs, Dandasana. Feet are nice and straight. Shoulders roll back. Move the flesh out from the sit bones and just let your hands plant a little bit behind you. The heels of the hands might not touch, but just roll them back. Now, tone the belly, roll the shoulders back and wide, and then bring the head back into alignment. Notice any tension in the shoulders, right? Shoulders or your neck. Keep some space between your teeth. Squeeze your belly. Take the arms out to the sides. Really fire up the arms. Turn the palms up. Inhale up. Exhale right to your heart. Interlace. Press them up. Fire up your legs, everybody. Exhale, you're going to slightly tilt forward. As soon as you feel that stretch in your hamstrings, right, you stop right there. Don't bring it even further forward. Try to keep the chest lifted. And then inhale, reach up, release those hands, and put them back on the floor. Roll back. Good. And one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale out to the sides. Breathe. Maybe an internal rotation. Find that. Maybe an external rotation. Find that. Reach the arms up. Interlace. Press them out. Breathe. And on the exhale, tilt forward as soon as you feel that stretch, right? I could go further, but there's my first stretch. Release the hands this time. Bring the elbows to your sides. Push back and reach forward and up. Good. Press back. Big tone to the belly here and up. Good. 3 more. Press in and up. Good. And 2 and up. Last one. Squeeze it back and lift up. Take your whole torso up. Let those hands go. Roll out those shoulders. Hands plant back to the floor. Take the left foot up. Oh, you know this is coming, right? We do this almost every time as we straighten these legs. Good. The hands can stay on the floor. I want you to point and flex. Good. Keep grounding through the left leg if this is, or right leg. If this is super hard, lower the leg and point flex here. Big squeeze of the belly. Flex, point. Last one. And point and let it go. Woo, shake it out. And hands back to the floor. Take the right leg up. Squeeze your belly. Oh, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Point and flex. So when you're pointing and you're flexing, really point and really flex. Like take the toes with you. Good. Breathe. Few more. And hold and let go. Bend your knees. Good. Your feet are on the floor. So your knees are bent to the point where you can put your feet down on the floor. And I want you to just raise up onto the heels of the feet. Spread your toes really wide. Good. Press through the ball mounds of your feet and see if you can get some space between all your toes. You can either have hands behind or hands on your knees. And then press one foot down, bring the toes down. Good. Lift it up. Press the other foot down. Press the toes. Good. One more, both sides. Ball mound, toes up, and ball mound, toes and up. Good. I want you to stay really tall. Lift one leg. Breathe. Keep yourself from tilting. Let me turn sideways. Maybe you can see what in the world I'm doing here. So you got one leg up, one leg down. I want you to push that leg out as you lean back. Core work. And reach up. Good. Push out. And up. Watch your backs here. A couple of you I know have some tender low backs. You're squeezing the heck out of your belly and you're not going so low if it hurts. Good. 2 more. Down and up. Last one. Hold. Push into your right heel. Squeeze your belly. This weird modification of a half boat. And come up. Dig that heel in. Breathe. Lift your right heel off the floor. Squeeze your belly. Lift your chest, everybody. When you're ready, push out. Bring it up. And 2. And up. Good. This is 3. And up. Got 2 more. Down and up. Maybe we hold this last one for a few seconds. Breathe. Woo. And up. And let go. And shake it out. Good. And then just real quick, because I do want to stay a little focused on feet. You're going to take your left leg wherever you can reach your foot. So figure 4 can be kind of nice. Anything that makes sense for your other leg. Take your hand on top of your foot and put your fingers in between every toe. Yep, every toe. Put your fingers in on the top and through. This one is harder than sole hand to the bottom. So we start with this one for some reason. And then circle the ankle. Circle the other way. Good. Maybe flex, maybe point and flex. And then take your toes and curl them around your fingers. Ooh, just squeeze. And release, spread them out nice and wide. Release that hand. Take the other hand, same foot, go the other way. The palm of your hand is to the sole of your foot. You're going to squeeze those fingers in. Now, if you go deep into the fingers, it's harder, right? Because the fingers are thicker there. If that's not working for you, maybe you go with just closer to the tips of the fingers and just try to get some space there. Good. Nice big circles with the ankles. Circle the other way. Curl your toes around those fingers. Squeeze them down. And then spread them out and then pull on your toes, like pull them out of their little joints and let it go. Woo, feel that foot. Good. Switch sides. Start with your hand on top. Find that space between your toes, right? If you do a lot of foot activity, tennis, running, things like that, right? Even walking, really important. And just in general, to keep the health of the feet, the ankles. We're going to work a bit with the arches today as well. Good. Circle the other way. Find your breath. Hold on to your toes, scrunch them around, right? So you're squeezing those fingers in between your toes. And spread the toes, release, other side. Taking your left hand between those toes. Hang in there with me, we'll get moving. Press them in. Circle. Imagine doing this in front of company. What are you doing there? I thought before dinner we'd all put our hands on our feet and stretch out our toes. What do you think? And bring it still, scrunch those fingers, really squeeze them, and then spread them out, pull the toes out like you could just yank them out of their sockets and let go. Whoo. And then feel that, right? So straighten the legs again and then scrunch and straighten your toes. And then plant the feet back on the floor, lean back a little bit, scrunch up your toes. If you were in class last time, we were using a washcloth. If you weren't, use a washcloth next time you think about it and try to scrunch the washcloth underneath your toes. Yep, couple more. Next time you scrunch, hold, and then take a look at the arches of your feet, right? We're really lifting those arches. I want you to keep as much of that arch as you can, but then unscrunch your toes and feel that. And then look at your own arches and see if you manage to maintain. Now push into your big toes, lift your other four on either side off the floor. Maintain the arch, squeeze, breathe, and let go. All right, so that's enough of that for now. Let's come on up to table pose and just get a sense of your feet, right? Get a sense of how they feel. Plant your hands, maybe pat the tops of your feet on the floor, little stimulation there. And then squeeze in through your belly, find your good pose, flip your toes under, lift the knees off the floor, take your feet a little bit wider than normal. So not maybe to the edges, but then look at your knees, right? So plant your knees so that they're lined up with your feet. They're not curled in, they're not rolled out. And then feel the ball mounds of your feet press back into this very bent knee, down dog. Squeeze your belly, open up your shoulders. Good. Notice the ankles. Press into your toes. And then straighten your legs. Keep a soft bend at the backs of your knees. And notice if your arches are starting to drop toward the middle. Walk your feet back to hips width apart. Keep planting your hands and then scrunch your toes. Ooh, and feel the work happening in your feet, in your ankles to scrunch your toes with all that weight bearing. and then release it, and imagine trying to pull your ball mounds off the floor, right? As if you could lift the front of your feet, feel the front of the legs, and then walk your hands all the way back to your feet. So you're here again, soft knees. Take a look at those arches. Scrunch your toes, right? So you're scrunching them all the way under. Notice that big lift of your arch. Notice if you roll to the outside of your feet. Press the ball mounds back down. Press the big toes back down. Press the rest of your toes back down. Come right to the center of your feet. Knees are soft. Breathe. Good. Now, pretend that you're pressing out against the strap on your thigh. So your knees just separated a little bit away from each other. The feet are grounded. Tone your belly. Watch your low backs here. Start to lift your chest, but not your head. Press the legs isometrically away from each other. Take your hands off the floor. If that bothers your lower back, please go ahead and reground. Squeeze your belly. Now start to lengthen your tailbone as your chest lifts and you come all the way up to standing. So hopefully you notice that with all of that happening, right? The low back didn't take the weight. All that energy of the legs brought you upright. Good. So come on back to the front of your mat. We'll get a little more warmed up before we start getting into detail again. So look at your feet. They're parallel to each other. Your knees are tracking over the center of your feet. Lift all your toes off the floor and then press just your big toes down. Spread the rest of the toes to the sides of that big toe and let those come to the floor. Feel mountain pose, soft back of your knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Soft knees. Notice if the knees or the arches started to collapse. Take them wide. Good. Bend the knees, step back, right leg. Make sure your pose is wide enough. Bend your right knee to the floor. Inhale, reach up. Find your breath, everybody. A little bit of flow here. So just be mindful. Take your time. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift your right knee, step back, down dog. Just do what you can do. Notice the feet, notice the arches, soft bend in the knees, plank pose. Now in plank, I want you to do a little belly crunch, right? We've talked about that in the past. So don't let your butt poke up. Squeeze your belly in. Maybe lower your knees to the floor, elbows toward hips, slow chaturanga. Release to a baby cobra. Exhale, push into your knees, push up, downward facing dog. Take a look at your feet. What are they doing? Do they drop back in? Do they roll out? Good. When you're ready, forward, right foot. Find your nice strong lunge. Step forward, left foot. Now, same thing we did before. Spread out your toes, plant your big toes. Check your arches, right? Keep them lifted. Now start to pull apart the legs as if you had a strap around your thighs. Find your breath here. Maybe tone the belly, fill in the low back, lift your fingers off the floor, come halfway up and lift the rest of the way. And breathe. So we're trying to avoid the rounding here by making this part of our body do all the work. All right, here we go. Second side. Inhale up. Exhale down. Think about the legs the whole time. Good. Soften your knees and step back left leg. Lower your left knee to the side. Undo your foot. Inhale the arms up and breathe. Feel that nice stretch maybe of the left quadricep, right? The left psoas. Breathe. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift that knee off the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a look at your feet. Plant the ball mounds of the entire foot. Press strongly through your big toes. And then imagine big toe to inner inner heel reaching back as you open up, squeeze through your belly plank pose. Little crunch here, right? Knees up or knees down, chaturanga. Release, cobra, low cobra. Watch your backs here. Exhale, down dog. Use your breath. Find your pose, right? Stretching this body out. And when you're ready, step forward, left leg. Find your high lunge. Step forward, right leg. Here we are again. Find your breath. Good. Tone in. Lift the arches, plant your big toes, spread the rest of the toes out, soften the backs of the knees, and then fill the low back in, but no rounding of the upper back. So this time, when you let those fingers go from the floor, pull the shoulders back and then stand up and breathe and shake it out, right? Do you feel the difference there, right? Do you feel like when it's like you're picking up a package and you would probably almost never straight leg pick up a package, right? That's kind of like a deadlift in weightlifting, but that soft bend of the knees, you're here, and then you tone and you find the center of your body and pull the shoulders back, and then you can lift without this baby giving you trouble. All right, so let's take it a little bit further. Inhale it up. We got one more full round. Exhale down. Tone the belly, check out your feet, push into your big toes, spread the rest of the toes out, lift your arches, pull the ankles away from each other, tone the belly in. Good, bend the knees, step back, right leg. Your choice here, knee up or knee down, right? Much more work to keep that leg up. Now notice, before you move, notice your left ankle. Is it collapsing inside, right, toward the floor? If it is, pull it back out. Press into your big toe. Let the fingers go. Lift up and take the arms up. Yep, and breathe, everybody. Check out the knee, check out the foot, right? Press into your big toe, spread the rest of the toes out from there. As you exhale, hands slowly to the floor. Right hand stays down, left arm goes to the left side and reaches up to the ceiling. And breathe. Don't let the left foot, the front foot's arch, drop down to the middle. Keep it pressing up. Good. Exhale down. Take your left hand inside your left foot. Walk your left foot out to the side, but keep your left ankle, left knee lined up, right? Little bit of lizard pose here. Tone the belly. We're not going to go super deep here. Just breathe. Good. Release. Left hand goes back outside. Squeeze your core, down dog. Maybe you stay in down dog right now, right? Maybe you play with your feet here. Maybe you lift your toes. Maybe you try to lift your ball mounds, right? Good, plank pose. What's happening to the feet, the ankles, the belly? Strong crunch here, chaturanga. Release to a cobra or sphinx. Exhale, down dog. Not staying long. Woo, we don't do a whole lot of flow anymore. When you're ready, right foot steps forward. Breathe. Left foot steps forward. Breathe some more. Press out into the imaginary strap. Lift the arches, press into your big toes. Now squeeze the belly in. Take the fingers off the floor, pull the shoulders back, and come straight up. Yeah. You know, we have one more side, just so you know. Can't stop now. We got to go. Here we are. Inhale up. Exhale down. Soft knees. Check the feet. Every time, check the feet. Breathe. Soften both knees. Step back, left leg. Here we are, high lunge or a low lunge, right? Pick your pose. But fire up the legs. Don't let the arches drop. Start to lift. Tone your belly. Take your fingers off. Press into your feet to pull up and breathe. Notice, right? How is this pose? Press into your big toe of your front foot. Spread the rest of the toes out. Dig into your front heel, right? How's that feeling? And then exhale slowly down. Left hand stays down, right arm goes up. We find a twist here. Both shoulders nice and wide. Find your breath. Exhale that hand back down to the floor. Step back, down dog, last set or last flow. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you play. Plank. Good squeeze of the belly. Hold right here. Open up your shoulders, squeeze your belly. Remember, knees down. Perfect. Take it down, chaturanga. Release it. Some level of cobra or sphinx. How's your back today? Right? Good. Push into your knees and push back up. Down dog. Left foot forward. Right foot forward. Bend your knees, hands to knees this time. Squeeze your belly, then lift your chest and come on up. Good. Roll it out. Yeah, just shake it out. We should all feel pretty warm right now. And then grab your strap. So, again, I talk about Doug Keller a lot. I like him so much as a teacher. He's a teacher's teacher. He gives so much good information. You're going to take this loop and you're going to step on it with your right foot, but you're going to put it all the way around your foot to your ankle of your left. So you have it around your left ankle, like, above the ankle, and around your right foot so that your right foot is stepping on the strap. I hope you can see that okay. You're roughly hips width apart. So if you're super wide and you can't get any purchase on the strap, then tighten it up a little bit. Make sure the buckle is not on your skin, but you don't want it so tight that it's just going to collapse in. So if you weren't pushing on the strap, just let go. Just let go of that tension. And look at your feet. Lift all your toes. Press the big toe down straight forward. Spread the rest of the toes so your feet are parallel to each other. Now, just try to press. Oh, soft knees, by the way, very important. So don't lock out. Just try to pull your left ankle away. So create some tension in the strap. But keep your big toe mound pressing down. And then release. So pull out and release. If you have knee pain, bend the knees more. Good. Push out. If you lock out the knees, you can torque that left knee that we're working, that left leg. Good. Push out. It's very soft. Push out. Release. Last one. Push out, hold. And then start to feel the whole complex, right? So as you press out, but keep the big toe down. As you start to press out to that strap, you're going to feel the hip, right? The glute, the whole leg, the knee lining up, right? Instead of rolling in or rolling out, doing all that funky stuff. Keep pressing down on the right foot. Keep that strap in place. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bend the knees deep. Come on down. Hands to the floor. Keep the tension on your feet. Press those ankles away from each other, tone the belly, fingertips to the floor. Big squeeze of your belly, start to lift. Keep pushing through the legs and come all the way up straight. And release it. So it might be easy for you. You can just slip the left foot strap onto the bottom and then scoot the right strap, the right foot strap up to the ankle. Same thing on this side. So we were talking before class, Cease and I and Betty, and we know it's all connected, right? We just sometimes have to figure out what that connection is. Where does the cascade start? So that all of a sudden we look and one arch is dropped down to the floor. Where did it start? So lift your toes on your right foot. Spread that big toe forward and down. Spread the rest of the toes out. Press into the big toe mound, but then pull, soften the knees, by the way, and pull your right ankle to the outside. Release, and then just pull out and release it. Pull out, release, pull out. So as the ankle's doing the work, we're working with a muscle called the tibialis posterior, which is very not used a whole lot. So as we do this subtle little pull out, right, we're activating that muscle, which helps that arch to lift. Good, couple more. Next time you do it, hold, right? So you're really grounding it on the left. I'm feeling that, right? Now I'm pulling out on the right, so I'm feeling some whole different muscles. The knees are soft. Here we go again. Inhale it up. Exhale, big bend of those hips. Press the hands down, take them to the floor, broaden through your shoulders. Keep the tension on the strap. Squeeze the belly in. That'll sort of lengthen, maybe even round your low back a little bit. But then as you lift the fingers off the floor, as you come halfway up, keep squeezing, keep pressing, take the arms out to the sides, and then open those arms up as you lift up, as you take the arms up, and exhale. Good, and release your strap. Just set it to the side. We're going to grab it again in a minute. And I want you to feel your feet. So once again, notice, right? The feet are parallel, the big toes pointing straight ahead. So lift all your toes, plant your big toes, keep them straight. Notice any internal, external stuff happening. Spread your toes, press against the imaginary strap. Feel the legs really working now. Do you feel that, Betty? Right? So big time happening here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Soft knees, everybody. And I want you to just step out with your left leg. Step out with your right leg. Come into a wide leg forward fold. If you need to do that standing and then come into your forward fold, go ahead and do that. So your hands are on the floor. I'm just going to turn sideways here. Your hands are on the floor, any amount, maybe blocks if you need them. And then press into the outer edges of your feet, both sides. So you just got really wide, but then bring the big toes and the big toe mounds back so that the feet feel even. Scrunch into your toes just a little, lift the arches. Stay in the middle of your feet. It's really easy to drop into the heels. And breathe. Now bend your knees. Don't let the knees roll in. Keep the big toes pressed. Bend the knees, bend the knees, bend the knees. One hand to one knee, one hand to the other knee. Don't let the knees roll in. Come up. Straighten the legs. Breathe. Roll the shoulders. And notice, right? So back to forward here, we're pulling everything out of center. So we're working the outer hips. We're engaging everything. So inhale the arms up. Exhale, little goddess pose. And breathe. What happens in goddess pose if your feet are straight? So if my feet are straight here, it doesn't feel so good on my knees, right? So I'm going to drop the heels in, take the toes out, but I'm going to keep that same action of pressing the knees out, of keeping the arches lifted, of spreading out the toes and pushing into the big toe, right? So inhale, straight legs. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, slow, lift up. Exhale, keep the knees training out to the feet. Good. 2, 3 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And down, lift up. Exhale, down. And up. Last one. Exhale. Good. Listen up. Behind, sail back. Deep into the knees. Hands come to the floor. Torso is nice and wide. One hand behind one ankle, the other hand behind the other ankle. Squeeze your belly. Deep hip opener. Don't lose the big toes, right? Keep pressing them down. Good. Release those hands. Squeeze the belly. Press all the way up. And then heel toe your feet back in and shake them out. Good. Grab your strap. So you may need a little wider, you may not. I'm not sure yet. So you're going to feed both feet through. So just be careful from a balance standpoint. You're going to take the strap up. Yeah, definitely going to need not so wide. You're going to take it a good 2 inches below your knees, so that when you stand up, you feel the strap pressing along this shin line. And then I want you to do the same thing we've been doing. Lift your toes, feet are forward. Spread your big toe forward. Drop it down. Spread the rest of the toes. Press into the big toe and the inner heel. Lift your arches. Feel the action in the feet. Now I want you to go wide with your sit bones and bend the knees until you're in a decent squat here. Your behind is back. You're in a squat. The knees are pushing out into the strap. Take the arms up and just see how that feels for you, right? So a little bit of chair pose here. And what it feels to me is it's a little too tight. I need a little more space. So maybe you broaden or widen the strap a little bit. So as you breathe, tone the belly, bring the arms back, reach forward, and then lift up. Exhale, you're still in a squat, my loves, and up. 3 more, press back, reach forward, last one, and lift forward, stand up. You release the arms and shake it out. How's the feet feeling? Woo, right? When you work those arches and arches, over and over and over again, you start to feel it, but it's important. All right, so you're here. And again, if you felt your knees, then widen the strap a little bit, means your knees are too close. So this time you're going to come back down into that squat. Take your hands to your knees. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the belly. Take the hands to your heart. 1, you're here. 2, you're on those ball mounds. So lift the heels. Find your breath. Press out to the strap. Reach the arms back. Find your breath. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the heels. Control and stand up. And come on out of that strap. Holy moly. Grab your block. Take that block at the second width and let it come between your ankles. You may or may not want the wall nearby, right? Little balance work here. But squeeze the inner line of your feet to the block, okay? Ankles for sure, big toes, if they can get there, right? That below the big toe, that first bone. If you have bunions here and that feels yucky, don't worry about the feet, the tops of the feet as much. Squeeze your block, squeeze your butt. Hands to hips, find a still spot and lift and lower, lifting heels. Good, lift up. And 3, squeeze your belly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, squeeze your hips. 9, 10, hold to see if you can hold. Breathe, squeeze the block, work the outer hips. Maybe the arms come up. Squeeze, see if you could lift a little higher. Whoo, I know. Breathe. Lower the heels, lower the arms. Good. So I should have put us where I wanted us. So come to the back of your mat and put the block back between your legs or between your feet. Squeeze those heels in. So when you draw the ankles in, you don't want the knees going with it. So imagine that you have strap around the outer thighs, pulling the thighs out, even as the ankles and the shins press in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Hang on to that block and walk your hands out to downward facing dog. Now your hands are going to come out to a point where that block's probably going to lift with your heels. Breathe. Plant your hands, broaden through your collarbones, tone your belly, and then lift up to your ball mounts, tippy toes, and back down. Lift up, just 5 of these. Watch your feet. And 3, soft knees. And 2. Last one. 1. Breathe. You still got a hold of that block somehow. Walk your hands out more and come to plank. Nice squeeze of the belly. You're squeezing your block. Find your breath. Whew. Soften the knees. Tap the knees to the floor and stay. Find your opening. Squeeze your block. Lower down, chaturanga. Release to some cobra or sphinx. Breathe. And then lower your upper body. Hold your block. Bend your knees. Bring your block toward your hips. And straighten. Bring it up. Squeeze and straighten. Squeeze and straighten. Yep, squeeze it. Straighten. Last one. Squeeze, hold. Breathe. Press your hips to the floor. Press your hips to the floor. Find your breath. Press your feet into your blocks. Breathe. And release it. Oh, goodness gracious. Good. From here, just press up enough to press to child's pose. And you may land hip to block. And if you do, that's awesome. You can stay there and breathe. If you don't like that, you can sit up, right? Hero pose, or just take the block out. Find your breath. It's so interesting to me, when we try to connect the dots, hips to knees to ankles or wrist to elbow to shoulder, how it's all connected one way or the other, and just trying to find where is it in the body that I'm creating or have an imbalance. So where is it, and is there anything we can do about it? Maybe, maybe not. All right, so from where you are, come on up, table pose. You can set your block off to the side. From table pose to downward facing dog. Softness at the backs of the knees. Maybe lift to the tippy toes just once, just see. How's that feel?
And heels back down, but knees are soft. Walk your hands all the way back. Here we are again. Take a look at your feet. Don't worry about how they look, but worry about how they feel, right? So lift your arches. Two ways to do that. You can lift your toes or scrunch your toes. Lift the arches. Feel the whole four corners of your feet pressing into the mat. Reach the big toes and press it down. Bend the knees a little bit more. Feel the whole sit bones wide, right? The whole pelvic ring broadens out as we press against an imaginary strap. And then either hands to knees or do what we did before, which is squeeze the belly in almost to round your lower back. Lift the fingers off the floor, but then pull the shoulders back as if you're pulling a package from the floor, and then stand up. And shake it out, everybody. All right, so what's that all got to do with anything, right? It's all important. Trust me. All right, so just real quick, take one foot and just flip it over and stretch the front of your ankle. Your toes are back behind you on the tops of your toes. And then maybe lift from, from that ankle all the way up to the leg. Just feel the stretch. Good. Release, switch sides, just flip the foot under and stretch the tops of those toes, the tops of the ankle. Find your breath and release. Good. And then a solid mountain pose. Balance works. So maybe you're near a wall again or near a chair where you can put a hand. So your feet are hips width apart. I want you to bend into both knees. And notice again, do you roll in? Do you roll out? Where is your normal pattern? And then imagine that you are kind of unfurling from a tight flower bud, right? So you're here and you're all tight, your belly's tight, right? You're just feeling all of this action happening. Keep the legs pressing against an imaginary strap. And as you pull the body up, stand up to a mountain pose, shift into your right foot, peel your left foot off the floor, and lift any amount you can. Maybe you lift it up to chest. While you're doing that, notice all the movement in your right ankle. Right? Here it is. Here's the work. Squeeze into your toes as if you could scrunch your toes under and feel the arch lift. Keep the back of the knee soft. Level out your hips. Maybe the arms go up, maybe not. Find your breath. Keep pressing into your big toe mound. Squeeze through the hip, the glute. Maybe you straighten the leg out in front of you, maybe not. Woo. Bend your knee back to chest. Slowly lower it down and release. And then roll that ankle. Maybe pat the top of your foot. And switch sides. So, same thing. You're going to bend down a little bit. Excuse me. Feel the imaginary strap. Legs are active. Big toes spread out. All that stuff happening. And as you're ready, you're lifting up from that earth, right? Lifting up from there. You're squeezing into your left leg as you start to peel your right foot off the floor. Find your still spot. You could lift that leg 2 inches off the floor. You're still getting the work. Notice all the movement in the left ankle. Maybe scrunch the toes a little and feel that a little more stable. Squeeze your glute, arms reach up. Find your breath. Maybe you straighten your right leg and breathe. Keep reaching into the left leg, left glute. Bend your knee. Set it down slow, 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 slow. And release.
and shake it out. Well done, everybody. Right, so we just start to notice. Good. Last thing on your strap, grab your strap. It's in that nice big loop or nice loop, so make the loop bigger. We've done this in classes in the past. You're going to step both feet into the loop until your legs are as wide as you would like to go or as wide as your strap allows you to go. I advise against going too wide for you, right? Because I don't know the gain in going wider still. I mean, maybe more stretch at the inner thighs, but so you should feel good purchase on that strap. Your feet are parallel forward, right? Unless that hurts something. And then deep hinge from your hips as you push against the strap and come on down. Nice forward fold here. Back of the knees are soft. You're at the center of your feet. Your big toes are pressing in. Your other toes are stretching out. Your pinky toe presses in. We find our breath. Just breathe. Maybe you walk the hands out in front of you and then draw the shoulders isometrically back. Nice long torso here. Keep pressing against your strap. Walk your hands back under your shoulders. Lift halfway up. Press your belly in strong, like move into that partially rounded low back, right? That back moves toward the ceiling. Squeeze your belly. Come to your fingertips. You should feel about halfway up. Push against that strap more. Take the arms out to the sides. Breathe, everybody. And then lift up, lift up, lift up. And exhale. And come on out of that strap fully. Set your strap aside. Come to the front of your mat. Inhale it up. Exhale down. Step back to downward facing dog. And just hold. You can move, you can stretch, you can do anything you want. Just stay in your downward facing dog. Notice the little bit of tone to the belly, but then the lengthening of the torso, the hips moving one way, the shoulders moving the other way. Everything has integrity, right? In yoga, it is steadiness and ease. Feel your feet. Tone your belly. Breathe. And then slowly lower down to your knees. Sit back on your heels or child's pose. Just take a breath. Right, just notice. Maybe curl out your wrist. Maybe give them a little squeeze. And just breathe here. Right, I find it interesting what we do to our bodies. As I was talking earlier about yard work, and I tend to be more quick sometimes than careful, and how important it is just to slow down a little bit so you don't end up with a bruise on your arm. All right, so from wherever you are, come back to your seat. We're almost done here. You're going to grab your strap one last time. Maybe more than one last time, but we'll see. You're going to take that strap between your feet, just like you did when we were standing. And you might notice that you're not going to go quite as wide because you're seated. So now your back has something to say about it. Roll the flesh out from your sit bones. Holy moly. I am feeling this. You can even sit against a wall. Ooh, if you, not that hard. If you had a wall right there and you could sit against a wall, that's kind of sweet, or sit up on a blanket. Now, if you're not feeling this, if it's too much, don't do it or don't go as wide. Just hang on. Just press out easy. Inhale, reach up. You're going to partially swan dive, partially. And then let your hands land either on your shins or on your big toes, right? Or around your big toes. You're pressing the outer edges of the strap so that your feet aren't sickling out. It's the outer edges of your feet. Pressing in as the torso leans forward any amount. Some of you are going to be able to go flat. I'm not one of those people. Breathe. Good. Release your feet, bend your knees, keep the strap. Whew, and let go. Yeehaw. Feel those, babies. All right, come on down, have your strap. Oh, bring your knees to your chest. Take the strap around your feet, go wide one more time. It is interesting too, you'll notice, right, from standing wide leg to seated wide leg to now laying down, how it affects the hips and the hip joints. So once again, I want you to flex your feet and press the edges of your feet or the sides of your feet into the strap. Flex your feet, flex your toes, spread your toes, breathe, and then point your feet, whoo, and then flex, and then point, and flex. Good. 3 more. Point, flex. Last one or 2 more. Point and flex. Last one. Point and flex. Grab one end of your strap and pull your feet towards center, but not all the way. So you've got maybe twice hips distance. Hold on to your strap, press against the strap, and release. Press against the strap, soft knees, and release. One more here, press and release. Pull the strap even more so that the feet are almost all the way together. Soft knees here, press against your strap, release, press, release. Last one, press, release. Bend both knees. Your feet are still inside your strap. Bend your knees, little Baddha Konasana here. Just hold the feet together, soles of the feet together. You can hold your strap or not. And breathe. Find your breath. Now notice your jaw. How much have you tightened your jaw through all that? If it feels tight, relax it. If it still feels tight, stick your tongue out. Stretch out your jaw. An old friend of mine used to say your vowels to relax your jaw, A, E, I, O, U, right, with big face expressions. Relax, relax. Start to let the tension move out of your hips, out of your legs. And then very slowly tone the belly. Bring your knees in. Bring your knees to your chest so that you can release your strap. Set your strap aside. Bring both knees to your chest. Bring your right leg up to the ceiling. Stretch your left leg long, a couple of inches off the floor. Either you're holding your right leg or your hands are to the floor. Tone the belly strongly to the floor. Relax your head, your neck, your upper body presses back to the floor. And then switch, bring one leg up, lower the other leg. Breathe. Bring that leg up, both knees to chest. If your block is handy, grab your block and place it to your left side so that when you lower your knees to the left, they land on your block, your shin or your knees or something lands on the block. Okay, so a little less twisty than our normal twist. The right shoulder opens up, the arms open up. The jaw softens. Just breathe, everybody. It was a very active class, so we need to take the time to let our bodies settle, let it go. And then leave your left knee on your block and just take your right foot to the floor so that your right knee is pointing up to the ceiling. Nothing else to do, just let the right foot be on the floor, the right knee to the ceiling, the left leg rests on your block. And then without lifting your right big toe or right big toe mound, just take the knee, the right knee out to the right a little bit more. Keep the inner foot grounded though. And then release it, bring your left knee back up. That foot goes to the floor, the block goes to the right side. Knees to chest, lower the knees to your block. And you might find it's best under your knee or it might be best under your shin, so a little more supported. Pause here. This is sweet, sweet little twist here. Relax your jaw, relax your neck. Relax your jaw. And as you're ready, keep the right knee on the block. Just put your left foot on the floor. Knee points up to the ceiling. Just pause here. Keep your left inner foot grounded and just float the left knee out to the left a little bit. Don't let the foot lift off the floor. Bring the knee back to neutral. Release your right leg. Your hips are back to normal. Cross your right leg over your left. Bring both knees to chest. Final stretch. Ooh, yeah. You know we worked those hips today. Under the guise of feet, we worked hips. And then switch legs, left leg on top. Bring them in. Good. For Shavasana, either your legs are straight, or as I've really been liking lately, taking both blocks right under the hips, right, not under the hips, sorry, but right at the top of your thighs. And then straightening the legs over that so that there is a softness to your knees. Your hips are fully on the floor, and it just gives you a little different angle for just a nice relaxing stretch here. Arms out to the sides, make sure you're warm enough. Close the eyes. Allow gravity to take over. And as you lay here in Shavasana, maybe send some love first to yourself. And then send that love to someone that you love, or several people that you love in your life that make a difference in your life. And then send thoughts of love to an acquaintance or a stranger, someone maybe you see at the grocery store regularly, your post office mail carrier, someone that you see but don't really know. Send love to someone you are disagreeing with or don't care for. And finally, send love out into the world. See it touch the unknown number of people that we don't yet know. See it as a warm light touching every other person's heart, eventually making its way back to you. And then let go of any other images you have and just stay in your Shavasana. Soften your jaw, your belly, your heart. And then staying in Shavasana for as long as you would like this morning. Those of you who are ready, come on out, start to feel the edges of your body, start to wiggle your toes, maybe stretch and flex your feet a little bit. Draw the knees all the way to chest, curl in, hug yourself. Roll the knees to one side or the other. And as you're ready, press all the way back up, coming to your seated pose.